Hi everyone, this is Ryan Hoyme, aka Massage Nerd, and today I'm at the Alliance for Massage Therapy Education Conference. And today I have Iris Burman. Hi, nice meeting you. Again. Yeah, I've seen you a few times. Yeah. So how'd you get involved in massage then?
Oh, massage. That was the universe playing a trick on me. At the time that I was 27, and my world, the relationship to the world was from the eyebrows up, and the universe decided that I should realize that I had a body. And so I went to study anatomy and physiology at a massage school. Go figure. And and I fell in love with massage. And I thought, I was on my way to medical school, was what I thought. And then I thought, well, you know, this would be good to do for a little while. I'll play this one out, and then I'll go to medical school. I hadn't finished. It's a very big field, this thing. And the more I got into it, the deeper I got, the more engaged it was, the more rich it was. It's just beautiful stuff.
And have you seen the education change a lot over the years, would you say?
I would say, based even from when I was in school, and then as I've had a school for the last 30 years.
So 30 years now you've been going to massage school.
This is my 30th year coming up next month.
Oh, wow. And what kind of, did you have any mentors while you're going through massage school, would you say, or?
Yes, I've had people who have been, my teachers were very good. I had really good teachers. The program was ancient and hadn't been revised in, you know, the 40 years that it existed before I got there. But the teachers were really good, and I got role models that didn't even know they were role models. One of my teachers was an amazing body mechanics exhibitor. I mean, he demonstrated work with such beautiful grace and ease, and so I really modeled from him how I use body mechanics, and he didn't even know he really taught it to me. Years later I told him that, and he went, really? It was, he just embodied it, and it was beautiful to see. And as I've been through the field, not so much coming into the field, because it was, like I said, it was not my intentional plan to do this for a living. I just thought this was something I was going to do on my way to something else. But once I was in the field, I've had many fabulous mentors. Milton Traeger, who really...
you learned on him?
I studied with him and had...
I'm jealous.
He was amazing. He did not walk into a room. He floated into a room. He so embodied his own work. It was exquisite. And he made a comment to me that really made an impact on my life. He said, you know, and he'd been doing this 50 years by the time I was hanging out with him, and he was 75. He said, you know, I've always done good work, but I'm really doing good work now. And I thought, oh my God. I think I was 8 years in the field at the time, and I was thinking, boy, if he can do this in 50 years and still have fresh, exciting, new discoveries, I want to be that guy. And I'm 35 years in the field now, and I would, actually it's probably more than that at this point, but at least 35 years. And I feel that way. And I, you know, try and give that kind of inspiration to others, because that was so powerful to me, that this always stays fresh if you're paying attention.
And why did you decide to own a massage school then?
That was just a nature of, I was a teacher since I'm knee-high to nothing, and I had a friend who wanted to start a massage school, and we both felt very confident in our skills. We put out the word we were going to open a school, and in a couple of weeks we had 12 students, so we figured we were right.
Wow. That's awesome. And when you've hired instructors in the past, what kind of traits are you looking for?
They have to be clear communicators. They have to really know more than what they're walking in to teach. If they're teaching this much, they got to walk in knowing this much. They have to have good people skills. They have to be able to manage and support students of varying degrees of evolution and expectations and backgrounds, and in Miami, different languages and all kinds of idiosyncrasies that all the students bring to the table. I want to have people who have good people skills to be able to negotiate a classroom with them, manage a classroom with them, and really be able to communicate and support the students with what they're presenting.
And how did you get involved with the Alliance then?
Well, I've been involved with the AMTA Council Schools for 25 years, and was on the committee that was originally mandated to help the council schools become independent.
Okay.
And then when the AMTA just kind of took out the elements in their bylaws that had anything to do with the council, we were kind of left with nothing. And so that group of us, there were 6 of us on this committee, we had decided that, well, this still needs to exist as an independent, and so I was part of that original group that just dared to say, we're going to put on a party, we're going to put on a show, let's do it, we're going to call it the Alliance of Massage Therapy Education. And so, yeah, so I was part of that nascent group that helped to form this, what we have today.
Yeah, and I'm loving that educators are actually getting educated.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we need it.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
can never be teachers if we're not students.
Yeah.
And if we don't recognize that our students teach us while we teach, if we don't recognize that there's a bigger world out there that needs to also inform us about what we do, then we need to wake up to that. It's very important.
Because I've talked to many CE providers here, and they said it's been forever since they've actually taken classes, because they're so used to giving classes all the time.
and that's one of the things that I really, really, really appreciate about how we organize this, the Alliance, is that this is the first time that there is a forum for CE providers to really connect. 25 years ago, when we were organizing and manifesting the council schools, there was a lot of daring and concern and trepidation about sharing and territory and propriety and proprietary elements, and a lot of concern about that. And we learned by virtue of sharing that we didn't have that much to be concerned about. That sense of sharing and camaraderie and connection, and actually offered an incredible amount of support. And what is interesting for me is to see that that's where the CE providers are now. They're coming together with that first blush of trepidation and concern and wonderment, and what could they share that wouldn't challenge their ability to maintain the integrity of their program or their territory or whatever they see their domain as. And so it's going to be very beautiful to watch them discover how interaction and sharing actually helps them all go up, and making standards that affect everybody, that really raises the integrity and the quality of continuing education. And so it will really help everybody. And it's just have to make it through those steps of trust development.
And it seems like there's different layers too and stuff like that. So one for the schools, one for continuing education, and one for instructors and stuff. So
we each have our own angle, and each angle brings its own concerns. And I was in the this afternoon, or it was this morning, I was in the subgroup of faculty that was discussing the teacher standards. And it was very fascinating hearing the concerns that the teachers had, and then when we went back into the main group, hearing the concerns that came out within the groups for CE providers. They were beautiful concerns. I mean, they were really things that, yes, those things need to be thought about and considered. And even one person said, well, who's going to be setting the standards and evaluating whether these CE providers are actually meeting these standards? That's something that needs to be figured out. I don't know. And then the viewpoint of the school directors, even though I am one and was not in that group, it was really wonderful for me to hear the things that came out in that group, because we each have our own angle and concerns, and some of us play in, like I'm all three of those things, but my central role is school director. But there is very important concerns that come up for each one, and having collective moments to really share what we all have, but having those isolated times to discuss just what the issues are amongst those players is a really important piece.
And it just seems like you guys are not rushing it either.
No,
because
it can't be rushed. It can't be rushed because we have really a lot of work to do to think about the processes, the impact those processes will have, both in the functioning of our particular aspect of the schools or the CE programs, as well as any regulatory effect that it'll have down the road.
Yeah.
And just really looking at how we have to really consider a lot of things, and we really need the input from all these different players. And I really appreciate that regulators come to this. We have the Federation of State Massage Boards is a participating player in our conversations that really make a difference with understanding how what we do will reflect to them and how what they do might reflect back to us.
Yeah.
It's very powerful kind of collaboration among forces.
And where do you see the Alliance going from here then?
Up.
Yep.
I really see us declaring that territory that is education. And it really needs to be of educators, by educators, for educators, because who knows and understands the concerns of educators better than educators.
Yeah.
And we are, by our mere nature, leaders, so it's not hard for us to come together and really vision the future and take action to manifest that.
Yep.
So we're the right people to play that, and this is the right time for it to exist. We're really, the overall profession of massage is really clarifying the different roles that must be played and who are the players that help to make and define ourselves as a profession.
Yeah.
Rick Rosen did this wonderful demonstration about the 6 elements of a profession, and we had most of them in place now. We just now have to refine our roles and get clear so that all parts that need to be managed and given fire have the players to do that.
Yeah.
And that we all understand the part that we play and the part that we play collectively, where we come together and summit the forces that we each represent.
Play nice in the sandbox, okay?
Yes. And I mean, even the industry partners are a very vital part, because they are the manufacturers of the tools that we use. They're the designers of the systems that we implement. And so there's really very great importance to have the industry partners, the other membership organizations, the regulatory bodies, the manufacturers, the suppliers of lubricants and other things that help us, test writing programs and other elements that really make a difference, that make our lives easier, that really support. It's such an interdependent profession, and the industry part of it as well as the professional part.
And it's not too late to get involved too, because you're still on the ground floor with some of this stuff, so it's nice.
Yes, and when we say this is about us, we have to realize it's not a them doing for us. It's we are them and we are us. Yeah. And it is absolutely at the opening stage. It's always funny when I hear somebody say, well, what are you going to do for us? When someone wants to know what the Alliance is going to be doing for their population, it's whatever you want to help make it do for you. If you have an idea that your segment of this profession is needing a certain type of support, well, come in here and create or help to create, join the committee that is creating that which will offer the particular need that you identify. Yeah. Because it's totally open, and it always will be. Even though we're in the beginning and so it's wide open, even later down the road, it's always open for new ideas or revisions of ideas that have been put into place. Because this is for us, by us, about us. It's all, we are it.
Yep, exactly.
We are it.
Yep. And what's the easiest way for people to get a hold of you if they're interested in learning more about this?
Me personally?
Yep.
They can contact me at my school, Educating Hands School of Massage in Miami. Yep. You can write to me by email at iris@educatinghands.com. Yep. Or write to the, or check out the Alliance website at the afmte.org. That will I'll give you a broad spectrum of details of what we offer and the programs and benefits that come with membership.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Okay. Always a pleasure, Iris.